Okay, welcome to Just Talking. We have a great show today. We are here at Bradford High School, and we're going to see some great improvements down here. And we're again with Pat Finnemore. Pat, thank you so much for showing us here at Bradford High School. So let's hear it. What are we standing in here?
So we're in the new main entrance, door one at Bradford on the west side of the school, and the west entrance has been the main entrance for a number of years, but previously it was just a small vestibule. Students would enter into the school, and then they were basically required to walk to an attendance office to check in or visitors. Same with visitors. There was nothing forcing that activity to take place. Now we have what's called a controlled entrance. You can come into the space we're in here. This is just a temperature vestibule. You can get through that next set of doors. Once you get in there, you have to check in with the attendance office before you're actually going to get into the building. So it's what we've done in any of our newer buildings, and we certainly wanted to add it to Bradford as we did this energy project here.
For this energy project, we're just finished up year two. Was Bradford done anything on year one?
So this is year one at Bradford. This is year one. So year one here at Bradford, new central heating and cooling plant. We'll get a chance to take a look at those today, which served the entire school. Previously, Bradford had 3 different boiler rooms that served different parts of the building. They've all been tied into one. They also had 2 different chiller plants. They've been tied into one as well. Then in addition to that, new ceiling lighting, new windows, and then these vestibule entrances that, one of them which we're in here, and then the other will be the staff entrance on the east side of the building.
And some exterior painting done as well?
Yeah, we took the color scheme, that's part of the non-energy side of the project, but it used to be a brown metal panel system. Now we've went to kind of a grayish silver to complement the stadium that we built a few years ago here.
So now what area of Bradford are we in here now?
Okay, we're in the Commons, and so we're actually standing on a floor that used to be a sunken floor, and I think a lot of people who've been to Bradford remember that, that area. We've raised that floor up, made the Commons all one common floor, which has really enlarged the space quite a bit. The windows that separate the Commons to the courtyard have all been replaced as well. And then we've also added windows between the cafeteria and the Commons. And so it's kind of made this one large space from a student management perspective, and also from a use perspective as well. So we see this Commons getting used a lot more, similar to the Commons at Tremper and at Indian Trail, which get used for so many things. We see that same thing happening here as well. We're in the Bradford main boiler room, and as I mentioned earlier, Bradford used to have 3 different boiler rooms, and so in addition to not being the easiest to maintain, having 3 different spaces in the building, they were also way oversized, and that was done because there was an original building, and then there were additions built both to the north and south end of the school back in 1979. Now we've consolidated all of the heating plant into this one location. We're actually serving the building with about half the heating capacity that there once was in the building, and we'll still be able to keep the building plenty warm. So 4 small boilers replacing what used to be about a half a dozen larger boilers. So
probably obviously the same contractor or like the same equipment that was at Trapper?
So the boilers are the same manufacturer. The chillers that we're going to take a look at are also the same manufacturer. So yeah, we like that consistency because then we know what we're doing from a maintenance perspective on that equipment.
Okay, Pat, we are now in the outside area, and let's see what we have to talk about here.
So directly behind us is the emergency electrical generator, and then the 2 main chillers that serve the building. And again, this building had 2 different chiller plants before, one that served the north addition, the kind of the central section of the building, and then one that served the south side of the building. Now we have the 2 chillers that serve the entire building, and that includes the north end of the school, the field house and pool and locker rooms, which used to not be air conditioned. And so now the entire school is cooled from this one chiller plant, and then the emergency generator is basically the backup power in case of a power loss, and that's going to take care of lighting, some minimal heating so that the building doesn't freeze, and then all of your computer type systems, things like that. So this chiller plant is kind of the, one of the single largest investments in the project.
And that was done over this summer or last?
It was. The chillers and the boilers were both installed this summer.
All right, Pat, what do we got in this area?
Okay, this is the staff entrance on the east side of the building. This was the other addition we did here at Bradford. This set of doors, this used to be the only set of doors you had to walk through to come into building. So when you came in from the outside, you opened the door and you were in the building. There was no vestibule. Vestibules are very important from an energy conservation perspective. They allow us to, on a hot day, to cool things off out there before letting that rush of hot air come into the building, or on a cold day, vice versa. Opening a door and having a cold rush of air coming into a warm building. And so we wanted to add that vestibule where at this primary staff entrance. In addition, out there we made the ramp that leads to this entrance ADA handicap accessible. There used to be a ramp before, but it was far too steep for ADAs, so just kind of cleaning that up as well. So again, one of the other pieces that we did here this summer.
And important because, like you said, a lot of energy conservation going on. It starts from, right when they enter the building.
Oh, it's significant. I mean, this addition will pay for itself in probably about 3 years. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, thanks again, Pat, for showing us around these great improvements here at Bradford High School. So what's next? What's that for the school?
So we really have 2.5 years left here. So we've actually made this kind of a 3.5-year project. Where Tremper was a 3-year project. This next year and which will be 2020 and 2021, we'll be doing all of the classroom areas, and so we've kind of split them up evenly. And they'll be complete. New heating, cooling in those spaces, new lighting and ceilings, and then also some other miscellaneous improvements in each of those areas. Then I'd say there's like a half year at the end. That last summer, which will be the summer of 2022, we're going to do work in the auditorium and auditorium lobby. And so, we've got 3 more summers here at Bradford, and looking forward to the changes that will take place.
Yeah, absolutely terrific. Once again, Pat, just great improvements here at Bradford High School, and thanks so much for showing us around today.
You bet. Thanks, Jason.